Hey, welcome to One on One. I'm Joe Bereta, and I'm here with Chandrasekhar. Did I say it right?
You did.
Yes. First question then. What are the top three ways that people mispronounce your name?
Jay Chuckakar. I had a nickname in college, Jay Chuckasucker. You know, I've heard stuff like Chandalahar. Well, my full name is Jayanth Jumbalingam Chandrasekhar, which it translates to victorious large penis rising moon. It's a family name.
In 30 seconds, can you go start from when you were born and how you got to where you currently are?
I was born in Chicago. I smoked pot for the first time at 16. I went to Colgate University, took a semester off, did stand-up, did well, went back to Colgate, started the comedy group, Charred Goosebeak. We all moved to New York City, became Broken Lizard. We made 5 movies. Then we made the Babymakers, Still Smoking Grass, and here I am.
He did that in under 30 seconds. Hey, Jay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Twitter lightning. It's the Twitter lightning round. So Twitter lightning round works like this. We asked our fans out on Twitter if they had the chance to ask you a question, what would it be? They submitted some questions, and I am going to ask you them rapid fire.
Wonderful.
Cool. I take no responsibility for the questions that I'm about to ask you.
I take no responsibility for the answers.
Perfect. First off, what is the first part of your body that you touch when you take a bath?
I mean, realistically, the anus.
What is your favorite type of beer?
Bottles.
Do you want a mustache ride?
I do not.
Favorite part of any movie that you've ever made?
When Kevin Heffernan Farva is covered in powdered sugar.
Alliance or Horde?
Horde.
Bear attack or shark attack?
Bear attack.
When the heck is Super Troopers 2 PS Car Ramrod?
My prediction is next year.
What's your favorite gaming console, Meow?
The Torquemado.
Favorite baseball team?
Chicago Cubs.
Would you ride a mad unicorn?
Yes.
Jay, which part of the filmmaking process is your favorite?
Editing.
Which member is the most craziest?
Steve Lemmy.
What TV show cast would you love to work with one more time?
Arrested Development.
What's the manliest sound you can make?
Ah!
If you were a supervillain, would you want to live in a super high-tech moon base or a super secret underwater fortress?
Moonbase.
If you knew you were about to die, what would your last words be?
Hotfish.
Thank you for participating in
the Twitter lightning round.
When you were little baby Jay growing up, did you know that you wanted to be in movies?
No, I didn't think it was really possible. My parents were doctors, my uncles, aunts were all doctors, so I sort of assumed I'd be a cardiologist. And then I took organic chemistry, I got a C-. I was out of the game quickly, but I was always in a bunch of plays. I was in a lot of plays, and I used to get laughs, and so I literally went to Chicago and went up on stage at age 19 and tried stand-up, and it worked.
And my dick fell off.
Do you still do stand-up these days at all?
I do.
But is it one of your favorite things?
Well, it's a lot of fun because it's just a microphone. It's a little easier for me and for Broken Lizard because you can just say, hey, who wants a mustache ride, right? And then you is that real?
This?
Yeah.
It is unfortunately real.
Okay, looks.
Tug on it. That's real.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing for my family. You guys all met at Colgate University.
Yeah.
How did you come to be, and how did you guys know that your similar comedy voices allowed you guys to become a troupe?
This guy had a student theater company, and he was going to London for the semester. He called me up and said, hey, you want to do that comedy group thing you're always talking about? I'm like, not really. So then he called me over the summer. He goes, dude, you're doing this damn thing. I need a 4th. I said, all right, fine. And I call up a bunch of friends who are funny, who are not necessarily actors. And so we literally wrote a sketch show. Me, Kevin Heffernan, who played Farva, Steve Lemmy, who played Mac, Paul Soder, who played Foster in Super Troopers, and then Eric Stolhansky played Rabbit. 20 years? 20 years.
Crazy, 20 years. That leads me to another question then. Can you describe every person in your troupe with
Okay.
one word?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Kevin Heffernan.
Moist.
Steve Lemmy.
Very short.
Paul Soder.
Testy.
And Eric Stolhansky.
Pogo stick.
Yourself.
Hot.
Me.
Mustachey.
Thank you. How do you guys continue to get along, for 20 years?
There are 5 of us in the room. We're all arguing over jokes. Ultimately, we do 20 drafts of a script, right? So if you lose an argument on draft 15, you can come back in 16, and maybe the guy won't be there, and you jam it through.
What was the first movie that you guys made?
Well, we made a bunch of shorts that we put in between our stage sketches. And I remember watching it in the edit room, and I'm like, this would be great if we had a closer shot of somebody to cut to. We could cut out that little bit. And that's how I learned filmmaking, because through pain. Then we made a half-an-hour film called The Tinfoil Monkey Agenda. Then we wrote a film called Puddle Cruiser, and then we got that into Sundance. I put about 70 grand in credit cards down. The independent film world is sort of littered with the bodies of the dead and in debt.
And then what was the movie after that?
Super Troopers.
There you go.
Damn right.
How did Super Troopers come to be?
There's a bachelor party for a wedding. The 6 guys were going to Canada to go to strip clubs in Montreal, right? They had some mushrooms, which they were going to take on the other side of the border. And they looked up ahead, and they saw that every single car was being pulled over and searched. And they ate it all. So then the Mounties searched the van. They didn't have any drugs on them. But they found a half a joint. These guys go into holding. Nobody wants to get banned. And these guys are sort of tripping their faces off. And then eventually the older brother said, "It's mine." And so the whole trip, they all had to go back to Vermont. And we said, okay, that'll be kind of a fun opening for a film.
Opening scene of the whole movie.
So we wrote the script and we took it around town to all the studios. They all said, great, we love this movie, let's make it, we'll put a bunch of other stars in it. We said, no, we're the cops.
Yeah.
So no, everybody said no. A friend of mine, her dad retired from the finance world and he started writing scripts. And she said, hey, do you mind if my dad talks to you, he wants to become a screenwriter? And I'm like, all right. So we talked, he was a nice guy. He said, hey, do you have anything I can read so I can sort of see what you guys do? So I gave him Super Troopers. And he goes, this is great.
They loved
and I said, oh, thanks. And he goes, are you making it? I'm like, no one wants to make it. He goes, I'll make it.
Oh, man.
And I said, it's $1.2 million. And he goes, all right. But our lives have been a series of like accidents. And Super Troopers, we made it. We went to Sundance, we sold it, and then we were in.
So let's talk about the new stuff. You just directed a new film called
The Babymakers.
I just watched it, and it's really funny. It's
Thank
great.
you.
Kind of an eclectic cast. How did that come to be?
My friend Jason Blum produced the Paranormal Activity movies. He called me up and he said, do you have a movie we can make for, a couple $1 million that we'll just go make it? No studio control, nothing. We'll just cast it how we want it. So we took the script and I showed it to Jason. He said, yeah, let's make it. And then 10 days later, we were casting. I think it's like a bit of a transition movie for me. I think it's like a little more real. I think Broken Lizard fans will still recognize a lot of the rhythm and the humor and some of the stuff, but there's also a little more of the real stuff in it.
Would you like to explain kind of what happens in it?
There's a couple trying to have a baby. That's Paul Schneider, Olivia Munn. You find out that Paul's sperm is no longer good. He used to donate to a sperm bank back when he needed extra money for his wife's ring. His friend, Kevin Heffernan, tells him, why don't you go back to the sperm bank, and the old one, and see if So he goes back to the old sperm bank. They say, well, we have one sample left, but we've already sold it to a couple. And he tries to go to that couple, and they're like, well, we really like you, so we don't want to give it to you.
We like your sperm.
So they decide to sort of hatch this plan to stage a sperm bank heist. So it's like Ocean's 11 with sperm.
And hilarity ensues. So when does it come out?
The film comes out August 3rd in 10 of the biggest cities, and then on the same day, it's available on VOD.
Real quick, what am I thinking right now? I'm thinking that it's time for Favorite Face-Off! Mustache Edition with Jay. Okay, so this is Favorite Face-Off, and how this works is that I'm going to give you a category, and then we're both going to give our answers to that favorite question, and we're going to leave it up to the audience at home to decide who is the better man. What is your favorite movie ever?
This is Spinal Tap.
Favorite stand-up comedian?
Richard
Jim
Pryor.
Gaffigan. Favorite state? Montana.
Illinois.
Favorite Broken Lizard film?
Super Troopers.
Kindred Souls, you guys. Favorite comic book hero?
Flesh
Gambit.
Man.
Favorite director?
Stanley
Scorsese.
Kubrick.
Favorite death scene in movie history? Cockroach
When
scene
Juan
in
Castillo
Nightmare
dies in
on
Club
Elm Street.
Dread.
Favorite song to make love to?
I can't remember the name of the song. It's a terrible question to get caught on. Okay, I'm ready. Ready?
Okay. Favorite song to make love to?
Fart Machine.
How does that song go?
You want to make love in your fart machine.
There's a fart machine. Here's a fart machine.
Climb on into my fart machine.
It's a drivable machine. He's climbing into it.
Once I get you in the fart machine, you're going to get made love to.
Favorite time you lost your virginity?
In my
The
basement.
first time. Favorite band of all time?
AC/DC.
Foo Fighters. Favorite method of saying good job through gesticulation?
Good job! I get it now.
Favorite Face-Off.
If you had one piece of advice for a young comedian, a director, or even like a sketch group that's just starting out, what would it be?
The thing about getting in the door is we don't ultimately care if some young person makes it. What they care about is, can you make them money? What I'm trying to say in a tragic way is that show business is a business. And if you're looking to make a living at it, you're gonna have to make somebody some money. And that doesn't mean you have to sell out. That means you have to like tap into what your generation is doing. Don't worry about what you think Hollywood is gonna love, because what they're trying to do is build an audience. In order to make movies, all the movies you see in the theater, they all abide by this thing called a 3-act structure. Learn that structure and learn what it is that we're doing out here, so that when it's time for you to play that game, you don't have to learn it later.
There it is, 3-act structure. Do it. Well, I want to thank you again for joining us.
Thank you
so much. It was very nice of you. Pimp something out.
Go see The Babymakers, August 3rd in a theater near you, and you can also download it, but you got to pay for it.
Pay for it. Thanks for
Please.
watching One on One on SourceFed. I'm Joe Bereta. This is Jay Chuggalahuggalacock.